Saturday and time for another harvest, and we're going to start here again at this very reliable cherry tomato plant. I'm going to confess that I tried to grow some different tomato plants earlier in the season, but they failed. I think that the soil wasn't the right kind, and it was also hot. There was another heat wave earlier in the year, and anyway, this plant I got at the store, and it was much smaller when I first bought it, but when I planted it, it grew nicely. And this week there are beans on all of the bush beans, contender beans, and then here you can see a golden wax bean. The golden wax bean is a kind of a more yellowish bean, but that grew to maturity. And then for the first time, some Vermont cranberry beans. I haven't harvested these before. It looks like they're kind of flatter than other beans, so it'll be interesting to see what they taste like. Now comes my last potato plant. It did produce some potatoes, and some of them look a little bit funny. They're funny shapes, and we don't see that in the store, but in nature and when you grow things in your yard, you do get funny looking vegetables like that. So there it was, my biggest potato plant, and that's what it yielded. That might be okay. And here we have sweet potatoes again, the orange colored sweet potatoes, and there are still a lot more under the ground there that are waiting for me to harvest. And here we're gonna, for the first time, get some of this Swiss chard. It kind of looks like spinach, except it's much bigger, and it's supposed to have trouble growing in the heat, but it seemed to grow okay. And now I'm harvesting some of these leaves, and you eat them like you would spinach. You can steam them or cook them. And there's the harvest for this week. We've got the sweet potatoes and regular potatoes, some cherry tomatoes, a few different bush beans, and then we've got the Swiss chard there, a nice big pile.